Welcome to a Few TSU Sports Fans podcast, where we talk all things TSU sports and our passion meets the game. From the biggest plays to the hottest debates, we bring you everything TSU sports. Whether you're diehard or just getting in the game, we've got you covered. Let's talk TSU. Go Big Blue.
Welcome to the episode of A Few TSU Sports Fans. We're here today with TSU Madness.
What's up, Big Blue?
And a very special guest, OVC champ, still owner. Champions never go away. Coach Sutton of the volleyball team. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
She's no stranger to the show, that's for sure.
I think she's probably one of the first coach we interview, right? First
I think
coach
so.
come on and talk to us, and
Yep.
she trusted us to talk with us because we know what we're doing.
We didn't.
We got images and logos and stuff, so we try to get a little better.
Well, as long as we, anything to promote the program, promote the university, I'm absolutely always in.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, appreciate it. So are we.
Yeah. So I know they're talking about this year's team. Let's look at last year. I just think things went. I know we didn't get back as far as we like to, but what were your thoughts about last year's team? And how did that inform you to this year's team?
Well, last year's team, we started off. I want to say with a deficit. We started off the week of competition. Our M1, our starting middle, went down with a severe high ankle sprain.
Mm-hmm.
So we were heading into competition, and you know how you were excited, everything's set, and then you have that one thing that really throws everything off balance. So though it was very shocking for us, and it took us a little while, the girls to kind of, shake it off. It shook us. So we had to make some adjustments in positions, and the lucky thing we had was I had a senior in Storm White who I moved into that position, who hadn't played that position since high school, and she owned it. She came in, and not only did she play that position until that middle came back, but she never lost her spot. And with that, she ended up leading the conference in blocks for the entire season. So I really like to push adversity, but with having a Storm White on our team, having a Jayla Holcomb, having a Hadley Pride, having a Sanaa Riley and a May Miller, we were able to go on a 7-8 game run at the end of the season because we got our stride together and we were able to make it to the OVC tournament. So I know it wasn't what we wanted. We're always looking to win, always looking for that OVC championship. But to watch them be able to kind of bounce back, it showed a lot of tenacity and a lot of resiliency.
Let's take one break. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Getting my snack in.
Me too. I got my peanuts over here.
Sorry about that. Okay. So I know you lost some players from last year's team. As you mentioned, the big run you had to get into the OVC tournament. Some players left, transferred out. Some went to bigger programs. One went to Providence, and one went to University of Miami. Miami. So he lost some big heavy hitters, but did great things at our program. So how did it inform you to recruit this year? I know you brought in 8 freshmen and 7 returners. How did that? Well, 7 transfers, a couple of returners. Yeah.
So what happened was we brought in 3 transfers and 8 freshmen. I changed the way I recruited this year because with the portal mania, with portal being the in thing to do. Back in 21 and 2020, when I was in the portal getting kids, it wasn't so popular. And it was actually kind of shunned upon a little bit. But nobody talks about how that championship team had like 5 new transfers on it. But with everybody, that's the new thing to do now. There are so many freshmen that are just out there, and nobody is, they're not getting the looks, they're not getting the nods, they're not getting the letters from college coaches because everybody's going for the experience. Everybody's looking for the next best thing that already has it. So I really took a step back, and I really wanted to. The downside of the portal that nobody talks about is you can get those kids, yes, but then you only have 1 or 2 years with them, and that is, I think, more so than anything, the frustrating part because you build them up, you train them, and they get acclimated to your program, and then you blink and they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, as I am moving into my 16th season coaching, it's like I'm looking for more longevity. And yes, I can still get kids from the portal. We got some great kids out of the portal this season. I think you guys will really be, impressed with them and like what they can do for us. But also, I have to think about, the time that we are putting into our kids and the return that we expect to get back. And so that's why I went towards the 8 freshmen, recruit heavy there, so we don't have to do that again for another 2 to 3 years.
Can I ask, how did NIL play into losing some of your players?
I mean, it's huge. Last year was probably one of the first years that we really had to really look at, going up against other schools that were offering NIL. Luckily, we were able to get the kid, but it's the same way we got her. It's the same way we lost her
Mm-hmm.
because, she had another year available at another school that could offer her that money. I believe any kid that comes to Tennessee State, I wish them well wherever they go because they're always going to be a part of us and they are an extension of us. So for all of our kids that have left and went to other schools, I definitely wish them well and support them wholeheartedly. But the reality is, as a mid-major, there are just some things that we can't do that other schools can, and we have to accept that.
So when you focused focusing on recruiting for this year, because of the ones you lost, what was your focus? What did you need, and how did you replenish that roster?
I mean, honestly, we needed everything.
Yeah.
We needed outsides, we needed middles, I needed opposites, setters and liberos. We needed every position. And I basically had to make the decision to, okay, all right, this is what we're doing. We already had some freshmen that were already committed. So, yes, it made the process a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't just go recruit them all at one time. But at the same time, the direction I decided to go in was to be freshman heavy because right now we're losing our foundation and core group. So we have to replace that. And going to get transfer after transfer, we're not going to be able to fully do that. And they be TSU blue to the core.
Mm-hmm. You even dipped down in my neck of the area, Tampa Bay, the Bay Area, and grabbed one of my homegirls, so Mariah Henderson.
Yeah.
That was
Mariah
good.
came to our camp a couple of years ago. And, from camp, we've always had her on our list. And, I always follow up and I'm always watching our kids. I keep a board that, even if they might feel like I'm not looking or I forgot about them, no, their name's on our board. So she's always been on our board. I think she adds a lot of depth to our opposite position and then a lot of height as well, coming in at 6'1". So yeah, it really works for us.
Also, I noticed that Malay Lacey, she's on the players to watch list this
Yes.
year and coming in on second year. What are your thoughts about her growth throughout the program?
Well, I'm very proud of Malay. Malay came in she was one of our kids that came to camp a couple of years ago and really impressed us. And, it was a kid I was like, yeah, she would be amazing for us. Last semester or last year, Malay didn't see a lot of playing time, but she did have great sparks of that. I was like, yes, it's in there. But I felt like she needed that year to kind of get acclimated, understand the offense, the defense, the culture, the schedule. And I feel like she has really come back this preseason. She really killed it. She's been aggressive. She's been dominating in the backcourt. She's been working on her block, and she just has a confidence about her that she didn't have before. So to watch her grow, this is kind of what I'm talking about when I say, I want to have the kids for the long haul, and I want to absolutely be able to. I want to be able to put them in a position to be successful. And I feel like that's what Malay is showing us right now.
And Celestia Miller, I'm sorry, Tweeney, go ahead.
You got it. Yeah.
Celestia Miller, her last season, the lone returning member of that championship team. Talk about her last year here.
So actually, the last 2 years Celestial has played for us, she's been actually injured with a knee injury, and so her being able to get that repaired, I feel like has allowed her. She's not in pain anymore. She played all last season in pain, and I didn't really know about it until the end. She didn't tell us. Happy that she got some relief. Yeah, happy that she got some relief, but also she really comes in this year, and I call her Grand Granny, because we expected to have Celestial for 2 years and ended up getting her for 4.
Yep.
So for her and her experience, her knowledge, how she sees the game, she has really, I feel like, embraced this new young outside group. And they absolutely respect her, not just the outsides, but also all the entire team. So it's been really good to just have her around.
Another person I looked up now, she's a freshman too, Italia Carter. Now she did a little thing where she Googled shortest college volleyball players and said she's like one of the shortest ones.
Yeah, I saw that. So Italia is also a kid that, came to our camp, and I was honest with her out the gate, definitely undersized for us, but, you know, I'm sure in some capacity we may be able to use you. But I was very clear and upfront, like her size would be an issue coming in as a setter. Um, you know, through working with her, she actually came to us in January. She graduated early, came in early, and you know, I think that was the best thing for her because it allowed her that time to really get acclimated. All the things that the other freshmen go through in the fall, she went through in the spring. And this preseason, she has really and truly like grown. Um, Defensively, Italia Carter is one of the fastest people we have on the court. And yes, her size does accommodate that, but she's touching everything. She's going for everything. She still has the ability to set for us, but we just have to make sure that we're using her definitely as a strength to us and not as a weakness. Because of her size. So that's really what we've been focused on with her. But I think she'll be a really bright light for you to watch this season, and us to try to put it all together.
We'll talk about the two Nashvillians here. We got returners at least. My guy Miller Garcia, Nashville, and also Sagai Riley. I haven't been in classroom teaching for a while.
Riley.
Sagai, yeah, I'm a little rusty on my names. I've been I taught 10, 15 years ago, so I'm a little rusty on pronouncing names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sanaya and May. So they came in January of 23. And they transferred in, yes, but both of those kids are kids that I recruited out of high school. And both of them wanted to definitely try and, how you want to kind of go far, you want to explore, you want to, it's next best thing. And I think that they went there, they saw, and they realized that, this maybe isn't it's where I need to be. So when I saw that both of them were in the portal, I absolutely reached out to them. And bringing them back home and having them here has been a huge, huge help. Not to me, but to the program. Not just because they're Nashville kids, but I feel like both of them have come back and, just really like embraced the TSU environment, the resources we have, the pride of the university. And they tell everybody like, this is where I should have been all along. Like this, we're a family here. Like
Hmm.
they really, I feel like, walk and talk the culture, and that's what we're looking for.
So go ahead, 28.
No, you we'll edit it out. Now, and that's the last person, Sydney. Funny sounds. I'm terrible with these. Sydney, she was recently mic'd up. I hope we get you guys more. That was pretty cool to hear, see her mic'd up.
Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sydney's a transfer kid that we got from Bethune-Cookman. Fun fact, one of my old players is now the assistant coach over at Bethune. Um, and, saw a kid that she thought would be perfect for our culture. That kid hit the portal, Rachel vouched for. And, it was kind of like, all right, well, let's see what she about. Um, Sydney's a hard worker. You can see
Mm.
that in the mic'd up.
Yep.
She has a great spirit. She's full of energy, but she is a go-getter. And one thing that really got me or sold me on Sydney was Rachel saying, Coach, she'd be perfect for our culture. She's gonna work hard. And I was like, I can work with anybody. I can train anybody, but you got to meet me halfway. And to have a kid like Sydney Poston, who is really and truly gonna go the extra mile. A lot of people say they will, but they don't. No, she's that kid that's gonna do it when nobody's looking, and that's the integrity that we're looking for here. And so I'm just really excited for her. She's actually going to be our libero starting out this season. And I just, I told her, hey, you have the shirt now, but you got to literally pay rent every day to keep it. And that's kind of where we are with it. But she wholeheartedly deserved it, and we'll see how the season goes.
Yeah. So talk about the season. So what excites you this season? You got totally new players. You're probably the youngest team that you've ever had. So what excites you about this season?
Well, I was scared at first. Like you said, bringing in all of these freshmen, I had my moments that I was terrified, but I knew I trusted in the reasoning and the rationale behind it. What really excites me is watching them grow. We've been in preseason now for 3 weeks, and to see how they have grown in that small amount of time, I'm excited to see where we're going to be at the end of the season. I'm excited to see how far we're going to be able to push them. They're super funny. They're a fun group. So yes, it's very light when we're not on the court, but also I get to coach them harder than I feel like any other group I've coached. And a lot of my older players are, giving me a lot of flack because they're like, you're so friendly with this group. I'm really not. I coach them so hard that I feel like I have to show them a little bit more of my personality and, pat them on the back every now and again. And they are like, it took us longer for you to show. And I get that. I understand. But these kids take it. They're taking it and they're making the adjustments. They're being coachable. They're listening. And I mean, I'm excited to see if we can get all of that right here, right now in August. It's scary to think about where we could be in November.
Yeah. When I hear Dr. Allen speak, I think that you have his full support of recruiting young. When I hear him talk about that quite a bit, and retaining players, keeping players for all the sports at TSU. So I think that you're in good company, and you have that support to recruit young.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like wholeheartedly. I know recruiting is my strong suit. Is what got me in this field, in this position, but also it's what has kept me here, and I trust my recruiting wholeheartedly. And I know he trusts me to recruit great kids, but I also still have to do my job and make sure that we develop those kids and those kids show up, so we can put points on the board. So, yeah, I appreciate that.
How was I know you? I wonder how playing a sport, and also being freshman week. How did the freshmen and your 8 freshmen deal with that? All the activities and hustle and bustle, and
We had a lot going on because, we're moving from gym to gym. Sometimes we're off campus practicing with, registration and freshman week and all of that. I really think they handled it well. I think this week right here, first week of school, I've been more worried about them with that and making sure that you know where you're going. Like, make sure you eat. We have to tell them that. Even when we only have 1 or 2 freshmen, like, they'll be so caught up in making sure they get to class, making sure they get the treatment, making sure they get to practice. They'll go through the whole day and come to practice famished and say, "Well, I didn't eat today." So just making sure that they're eating, making sure they're getting the treatment, making sure they know where they're going, making sure their teammates are helping them. That's just been our biggest thing with them. Understanding that right now they're going to need a little extra care from us, and we need to give them that.
I got 2 more questions for you. One, communication. So you had a couple of young ladies that were out, due to injuries uh, throughout the season. And so how can we better, sometimes, as fans, we wonder like why, why isn't this person playing or whatever. So how can we, sometimes universities have their own, communication rules where they don't want to put out certain things, but how, as fans though, we speculate. How can we get around the speculation and just be more transparent, I guess?
Definitely say I want to believe that because of the HIPAA law, it's not really much we can say or do in regards to that. The best thing that can happen is if that kid actually puts out a statement saying, like, "Hey, I won't be playing this week due to injury. Hope to be back soon," and kind of put all of that to rest. But in
Right.
those type of situations, it's very hard for us to speak out against that or in regards to that.
And then lastly for me, oh, sorry, yeah, I forgot it. I forgot it. My bad.
I will go back a little bit to last year
Mhm.
for the Hall of Fame, Tigers Hall of Fame, and you got Kelly Davis into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? She was a champ. Was she on the first championship team, I think, or the second?
I believe both.
Both. She's on both. Okay,
Yes, she was on both.
She's in the Hall of Fame. She goes.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was that experience to meet her and talking with her. Yeah.
Well, I had absolutely met Kelly before. Actually, maybe back in between 06 and 07.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I was not at TSU at that time, but just had mutual friends. So it was good seeing her again, but I absolutely pushed for her to be on the Hall of Fame, in the Hall of Fame class. Definitely felt like going back through those record books when, and I was on the board for the Hall of Fame. So when it came to volleyball, absolutely she had my vote. I thought it was definitely a no-brainer for her. And, for all that she's done for the university and the work that she put in her time, yeah, like, that was a great choice.
Yeah, she lives in that same area as I. So I've met her before, and I saw her like several years back, and
Hmm.
she was like, I was like, Kelly Davis plays. She was like, how'd you know? Like, first of all, I'm a shorter guy, so I'm like, first of all, you're tall. That's why I know. I see most athletes. It's like, well, you're really tall.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
I'm short.
I got you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you're a great person, and I'm glad she got that honor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad she's doing well professionally too as well. So you're a very good person.
Yeah.
Any Pacific games on the schedule you're looking forward to? I know you got the Tiger Invitational, and you're going to the Belmont Invitational too as well.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to this week. This week right here, I think it's going to really show us where we are, how we match up. That's what tomorrow we play Trevecca, 6:00 King Hall. That's what exhibition games are for us to kind of figure it out. We're gonna be very young. We know that, but I'm really interested to see how we come together. I will say, um, two key pieces that we did not talk about. I got a lot of them, but we have a incoming freshman, Irini Itsatsi. She's from Greece.
Mm-hmm.
She's a libero, and Sydney, yes, has earned her libero jersey, but Irini had an injury, a minor injury during preseason, and it took her out for like a week or so. But I feel like the more stronger she gets, the more she's coming on. Our defense this season is going to be really, really amazing. Our backcourt defense, with Sydney, Irini, and we have Italia back there, along with our other backcourt. It's gonna be exciting to watch, and I'm really excited to see how we stack up against going to Memphis this upcoming weekend. Next weekend, Belmont. The next week after that, we play Lipscomb. And that Tiger Invitational is really and truly like I planned out our preseason schedule to really put us in a position to have a great preseason, to not overdo it, but also to compete at every stop we have. So
Yeah, that Tiger Invitational was Indiana State, Idaho, and Chattanooga.
yes,
Yes.
and before we start that, we play Alabama A&M. So it's
Mhm.
like it's a it's like 4 games in a row,
Right.
and then the next week we have not the next week, but then we still have 4 home matches after that. So we got 8 straight home games, and that's not by accident. I did that on purpose. We got a lot of freshmen. I need them to get acclimated with King Hall. I
Mm-hmm.
need for them to know the Tennessee State fans, and we need to make sure that we come out and support.
As you mentioned that, I don't know if you saw my Instagram comments. They're on fire right now.
What happened? I didn't
Well,
see it.
this is more football. We talk about tailgating and going to the game, and people are, it's really it's TC Manager's fault because he made it. He made a snippet, and so everybody's going at his neck and they're responding to mine. But really trying to just emphasize, we have to support our players. There's future alumni.
Mm-hmm.
They need that love now. They need that encouragement now. You can go party any other time. After the game, before the game. But make
Absolutely.
sure we supporting our athletes. And so that's sort of what a lot of arguments are about. It's like so
Absolutely.
we don't need to volleyball tailgates. We need volleyball fans hooping
Right.
and hollering and hearing that the final point you say TSU, that countdown. I mean that's powerful.
Yeah.
Everyone needs that experience. That's amazing.
Yeah.
To be there and feel the love. So yeah.
Absolutely. We definitely want the fans in the stands this season. I definitely feel like with this group, we can get our fan base back. I mean, we still have bringing a really good crowd, but
You
I'm
do.
talking about the before COVID fans.
Yeah.
We want to get our fan base back, and I definitely feel like this is a great year for us to start that.
I agree. And just to confirm, that Trevecca match is an exhibition.
Yes, it's an exhibition.
Okay.
It'll be tomorrow, 6
Yep.
p.m. in King Hall.
Yep. Okay. Now, do you know if that's going to be on ESPN Plus?
No, it's not going to be on ESPN Plus, unfortunately. And I'm definitely trying to figure out some things that we can do. I do have some parents that are asking as well,
Mm-hmm.
what we're going to be doing to streaming. I have some international kids, and I know how important that is for them. But we're still working to try to get it figured out.
Okay.
Because I look forward to we'll be following, even though even if it's just on ESPN watching the little points going back and forth,
I appreciate it.
still getting used to volleyball because it's still so intense. I think that's like one of the hardest sports for me to watch. I got to turn it off and come back. It's just it's so quick. It's really like it gets me all anxious. Okay, let me take a little break. Let me come.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, I get it, but Literally, it could be one of the funnest sports to watch.
It is. No, it truly is. Look, I enjoy watching my daughter play. She started in 6th grade playing travel ball, and I love it. And I actually miss it. You know, she's graduated from college now and all that, but I actually miss going to those matches. So it's a fun game.
Yeah, I play on football with no anxiety or basketball, but like volleyball, I'm not.
Because it's the most intense game of hot potato ever.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go. There
yes.
you
Yeah. Thank Coach for your time, and we'll definitely be watching. We always end on saying "Go Big Blue," so go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue. All right, see you,
thanks.
Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Uh-huh.